What's going on, everybody? I am super excited for today. We're doing a bow build. So this is my bow for the 2024 season and likely 2025 season. This is the Xpedition Archery XLITE 33. This was the 2023 bow of the year, and this is ideally a perfect bow. And you can tell because they didn't make changes. All they did was expand their flagship model. So now you can get a 29, 31, 33, and 35. I shot this bow last year at Total Archery Challenge when they first came out and was just blown away. Super dead in the hand. It is a very, very light bow. That was what first was appealing to me, as I heard that they're really light bows, and so I thought, well, let's go test it out. So we went to the booth at Total Archery Challenge and started talking to the people there, and all I had to do is this. I was just stunned. This thing is 3.8 pounds. This thing is super light. It's super light, very little vibration, and also has a lot of steadiness when you're holding it and even after you shoot. Super dead in the hand. Now, how do they do that? Magnite is stronger than aluminum, lighter than carbon, and has better tolerances than both. And so they took that technology and put it into a bow. And why wouldn't you if you have it, right? So we're gonna do this bow build. Like I said, I'm beyond excited. Quick features about it. This is, like I said, 33, so it's 33 axle to axle. This has a draw weight of 70 pounds and a draw length of 29 inches. Cool things about Xpedition Archery, you can custom order it on the website. So like I did, so I got America's Best Bowstrings Platinum strings, which they all come stock with that, so you're getting super high-end strings right off the bat. I got powder coated accessories, so my limb pockets, my cams, my roller guard, my string stop, those are all powder coated in their flat earth, and then the rest of the bow is in black. Now these are going to be my backup strings because I'm going to be using the new launch strings from America's Best Bowstrings. So we're going to get those swapped out. That's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to swap the strings, and then we are going to throw everything on, and we're going to clock my bow. And what that means is I'm going to shoot an arrow, and we're going to see which way that arrow is spinning. My guess is it's going to spin to the right because that's what all my bows have done in the past with America's Best Bowstrings on them. But before we build my arrows, we're going to clock the bow to see what we're at. So let's get started. Alrighty, we got the bow press set up. This is Last Chance Easy Green press. I've had it for a few years now. It's been nice to have so I can just work on my own stuff. Okay. Now, this did come with extra shims and mods, but my hope is I don't need to do that. So, like I said, these are going to be my backup strings because we're going to be running the new launch strings by America's Best Bowstrings. Surprise, surprise, going with orange. So, it's going to look almost the exact same, except we're going to have clear serving except for the center. So a little more pop on the orange, but that's it. So let's pull these out, separate them. Okay, so alrighty, so we've got 2 bus cables, 2 control cables, 1 string that we can just swap out. And I think for the most part, this can be pretty straightforward to swap. Sweet. Yeah, this is going to go pretty smooth, I hope. As long as I don't make any big mistakes, it should go pretty smooth. Yeah, so we got bus cables. And they all just lube, none of it. I don't have to take the axle off for any of this, so let's rock and roll. Alrighty, okay. Let's swap out the big string first. So, strings have twists in them, which is important to remember when you're swapping things around, to either keep them tight or use a paper clip so you don't untwist anything. Because that's the last thing you want to do is undo some twists. Okay, string. That looks awesome. Okay, top string done. Okay, well, battery died. I'm not sure exactly when. Hopefully caught some of this, but where we're at, string swapped, one cable swapped, and we got one more. Okay, double checking everything is on the rail it's supposed to be. And voila. Dunskies. Alrighty, so we got strings, cables swapped. Next thing we need to do is get some accessories mounted. Throw the rest on real quick. So what I'm using, it's a Hamskea Hunter Pro limb driven drop away. We're gonna get that mounted real quick. I'm just gonna throw it on and then I'm gonna swap the camera around and show you how I level the rest. Okay. First thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my level here. This can help me level the bow. Get that mounted on, and then we're going to check both these bubbles to make sure we're level. Which we're actually really close. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, so bow is level. Now we're going to take my Hamskea third axis level. We're going to throw it on top of this rest here. I'm going to adjust it until we get a level. Okay, probably should have had my Allen wrench ready to go for that. Okay. Right there, we're level. Okay. Close, 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 close. Okay. Cool. Okay, so now the rest is level. Snug that bolt. Bow's level, rest is level. Now we're going to throw some felt on the launcher. Grab that felt. Okay, let's throw the sight on real quick. So, sight is a black gold Revenge. This is a 3-pin slider. Each pin has micro adjust. The windage and elevation is micro adjust as well. So it's super easy to get sighted in. We're gonna tie in my soft knots, but first we're gonna double check that we're in the right spot for where I want to be, so I'm straight through the burger hole and my arrow is still level. So all we're going to do for this is just some simple over and under hand knots on alternating sides. We're going to go 3 per side. Okay. Now when I'm doing this, I'm pulling down and toward me to help push that knot together. So now that I have 3 and 3, I'm going to do a square knot on this other side. So I'm going to tie it opposite of how I have been. And I'm going to seat it in between the last 2, just like that. And then when I burn, or cut and burn that, it's not going anywhere. Okay. Alrighty, so now I can cut the ends and then burn them. And they're not going to go anywhere. And then whenever you're burning string, you want to have your flame up and away from your string so it just melts it down. So just like that. And then right there, that's my soft knot for the top. We're going to repeat on the bottom, and then we can throw on a D-loop and we're ready to go. Okay, so a couple things with your center serving and your nock and your arrow is you want to make sure it slides free and it falls out free. So what you don't want to happen is you don't want to be able to, or you want to be able to slide it. You don't want to be able to just pull it easy and it falls off. So you can see I'm giving some pressure on that string. And then when I lift up and lightly let go, I'm barely lifting it up 1/2 inch. That's coming off, so that's what I want. And then when you're doing your soft knots, to try to get rid of pinch and avoid pinch, you want to give yourself a little bit of slack in between your soft knots. So something like this where I still have some play, but not enough where that arrow is going to be moving around. So that's where I generally like to be. Because what happens is when the string comes up, it's going to pinch, and this is going to get shorter and push against the nock. Sometimes people that have bad flight, really all they have is nock pinch. So especially if you have like a sub 30 axle bow, you really want to make sure you have a little bit of slop in your arrow when you're tying this in. Or go to a bow shop and they'll take care of you. So we're just going to tie it in how we were before. So over and under. And the last knot have the soft knot. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to cut and burn. And then again, flame you want going up. And then just enough. And you want it just enough so it melts and essentially secures that knot, but not enough where it's going to damage the actual string and serving that you have. Alright, so now that we have that tied in, we can do a D-loop. But we're just going to double check fit here. Still have that slop that I wanted, and it still comes out nice and easy. So now we can move on to a D-loop. Alright, now there's different ways you can tie in a D-loop. I'm going to do it the way that I like to do it. I use a handheld release. And so what that means is when I come to draw, I'm twisting that D-loop and that string so I can seat how I want. So the way that I tie in my D-loop is I have a natural twist to accommodate for that, so that way I'm not applying extra pressure to my string. Alright, so let's do the D-loop. I'm going to take the arrow out. This gives me a little extra working room. So we cut and burned it, and now we're going to get it tied in. So like I said, I have a natural twist because I use a handheld, so we're going to accommodate for that. So I'm going to start with the string on me, the left side of the bow, if I'm a right-handed shooter, and we're going to loop under, and we're going to put both ends through, just like this. And so what that does is that's going to put that burnt end away from me, and then I have this excess tag here. So I like to do this in steps, and I like to make this tight while I go. So I'm going to use my pliers and tighten it while we go. And then we're going to snug it. Okay. Alright. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to accommodate for that twist. So instead of starting with it on the same side as me again, we're going to move it to the opposite side. And we're going to come underneath, through, just like that. So we're going to go away from me, underneath the string and toward me, and then we're going to come through this loop that I just made. And now we're here. We're going to snug that, and now we're going to come back toward me, back around, and now I have this second loop here, and we're going to push it through, and then I'm going to have the second end pointing toward me. So before we do that, we're going to fray and burn this end. Okay, we're not that cool. Okay, now that we have that cool. So now again, we're going to go away from me, toward me and through the loop. Just like that. Back toward me, up, and around and through that loop again. And just like that, we're ready. And now we're going to take my pliers. We're going to cinch it slightly here. And then I like to make sure that everything is nice and tight. next up, Peep sight. We're going to do this before we fully set in my D-loop. Okay. When you get a solid string, they give you the center so you can throw your Peep sight in. This is a Hamskea Raptor Peep 3/16 size. Okay. Alrighty. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw this back and try and get it centered with where I need it. It's kind of hard to do by yourself. And then we'll do that rough tie-in. Alright, so this is where we want the Peep. So we're going to do a rough tie-in. It's going to be the same thing as those soft knots essentially. It's just going to be some over-unders just to secure it. And the reason that I'm doing this is when I go and get sighted in, I'm going to try and pick a middle point on my sight tape. So I'll get out to at least 100 on my sight tape. So I'll try and go to 50, 60 yards or so. And I'm going to set my Peep sight at a comfortable height for that distance. So that way when I'm up close, I have minimal movement to get lined up, and when I'm further away, same thing, minimal movement to get lined up. Okay. But I can also shoot it and not worry about it flying off on me. And once I get that set, then I'll come in and we'll serve it real good. Alright. We're built. Ready to roll. Last step is to shoot real quick and clock the arrow. See which way we're spinning. And then finish building my arrows. We're good to go. Let's do this. This bow, this thing is frickin' sweet. So now all we have left to do is I'm gonna clock the arrow, which she's spinning right. So now we're gonna fletch the arrows. I'm gonna do max helical to the right, finish building the arrows, and then it's just fine tuning weights with the stabilizers, and we're good to go. Alrighty. We're going to do a quick bare shaft tune and see what we're dealing with. I know how we're flying, so we got to see what's going on here. So, hoping this is pretty quick and I can just do a quick sight adjustment and then should be good. Let's see. Okay, we are slightly tail left, like slightly. So I'm gonna throw this in. I'm gonna put this on my vise real quick and make sure that my rest is where I want it. Should be 13/16 from the frame or from the riser, and if it's not, we're gonna tuck it in and make sure it's 13/16, shoot again, and then it should just be a micro adjust. Let's see. Made a few adjustments with shims and rest, and I think this should be a bullet hole bear shaft. Let's see. Oh. Let's see, that is money. Boom. Money. So we had some adjustments to make. Last shot. Beautiful. Alrighty, so bow's built, stoked. All I need to do is fletch my arrows. We can get sighted in and we're ready to roll. Alright you guys, that bow build is done. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please push that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and leave a comment below. Please, it helps us out a lot. Again, hopefully you liked it. I did get some arrows built. I put a small little video on our Instagram on that arrow build. Go check that out. But again, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more.